Well, hello everyone and welcome to yet another trimmer head review. Today, it's time for a change. The 4 trimmer heads I've previously tried on this channel have all fallen under the category of social media wonders. They've all been promoted to us as we scroll, and all of them have been promised to revolutionise our whippersnipping experience. All of them cost around the same, around 20 Australian dollars. And as we've seen, all of them do come with their pros, but also their cons. But today we're going to move from the land of gimmicks into the more serious world of industry. We're going to move from items made to a budget to sell en masse, to ultimately lay people, to an attachment that's made by the professionals for the professionals. The head we're looking at today is the Heavy Duty, designed and made in Australia by a company called Weedwakka. Also, the website says this product was born out of one man's frustration with what was available to go on your trimmer in the mid-1990s, either nylon cord or solid metal. The man in question, Peter Thorne, developed the Weedwakka as a better alternative for both, and it seems others agreed, as it was that he won an international award for this invention in 1998. So what about the product itself? For starters, we must realise that Western design and manufacturing brings with it a price premium over what you get out of Asia. The Weedwakka Heavy Duty retails for around the $60 mark. That's 3 times as much as the other products I've tested. So off the bat, we expect that we're getting a product that will be, excuse the pun, a cut above the rest. Here's the example I have here. Returning viewers may remember that I removed this head from my still brush cutter some time ago in order to fit one of the Chinese products. So, unlike those, what we have here is something that isn't new, and the rounding on the edges speaks to that. But let's still look at what we have. A heavier product, made from steel that features only enough different parts to get the job done. A single hub and 2 blades, double jointed and double riveted. We're not going to go easy on this product just because it and I are Australian. The first problem many of the cheap trimmer heads have is that they don't mount up to what I would consider to be the industry standard brush cutter, the Stihl. At 3 times the price, there should be no excuses here. This is the base head on any Stihl brush cutter. It's got this small washer seated into it, and when I put this back in, it's simply a matter of taking our implement and putting it on. Now, we want to put it on in the right way. Now, this one possibly has been put on the wrong way before, but I don't think there's a right or wrong way for this. I think it's symmetrical, but you can see the cutting tips forming this way, knowing that we spin that way. You can simply sit it on, and look at that. No problems at all. It sits in there. Now we can put a washer on to further seat it, and then we've got our cap we can put over the top, and then our reverse threaded nut, locking nut, goes on. Get the scrunch tool, we can tighten it right down, easy as that, no mucking around. I don't know why the manufacturers of the Chinese parts can't get the mounting right when this Australian made part makes it look so easy, but I can only presume. And unlike the people that made this, the Chinese people aren't actually working day to day with these parts. So now we've got our piece set up, and we see the arrow. We're swinging counterclockwise from the top, which means that our knife pieces here will cut right in. The head mounts up, but what about performance? I've taken it to a property to put it to the test in the way many prospective buyers would be. This stump is left over from a tree that fell down some years ago. Many of the rest of the tree was cut for firewood, and some of it was left lying around. In the wet years we've had since, grass and blackberry, a woody weed, have grown up around the scraps. So let's clean them up. It's important to note that this task, though appearing simple and easy, comes with just the kind of challenges you would want a premium product to stand up to. There's fencing, including chicken wire, that has to be cut up against. We have woody stems to cut through. What's more, hidden beneath the grass are solid lumps of timber, the kind of thing that would give someone working with a traditional solid steel blade a kickback-inducing nightmare. But with the double articulations, the Weedwakka product should be able to deal with the landmines in the grass. Cutting performance remains good throughout this cleanup. The next task was to revitalise this picnic area. The overgrowth, coupled with the wintry conditions, has given this area a decidedly Soviet feel. Let's see what we can do to change it. The Weedwakka now has to contend with steel posts. only that, when cutting around this old brick barbecue, it also gets itself into some masonry. To be honest, I feel this did blunten the product somewhat, despite it being advertised as a no-sharpen affair. But there's a trick we can use to our advantage to get our edge back. And it works without things blowing up. Eventually, we get the picnic area somewhat improved. So how did the Weedwakka stand up? Well, you'll remember that when I put it on, it was already in used condition. So the rounding of the cutting edge isn't all down to today's work, and I feel that given the conditions of solid wood, solid steel and solid brick it had to deal with, it's held up very well, with only slight degradation of the edges. You might remember the last Chinese wire cord trimmer I tried was basically cooked just after the test. But this head still felt balanced, and no vibration found its way up the shaft. That's something that's different from the chainsaw trimmer head, which you might remember. It's a bit of a quick conclusion to come to, but everything I've seen here today suggests that, as usual, the best way to go about getting what you need to get jobs done is to buy once, and that's to buy right. Thanks for watching.